welcome to Rogue Dragon Speaks. And we're doing Chaosium, basic role playing, with Ker Nethelas Dungeon Generation. Now, the game systems of basic role playing and Ker Nethelas are similar. I really don't like Ker Nethelas' combat. So, we're going to make a character. You can use this universal game engine for most indie games. So we're going to make a character based on a Ker Nethelas character, but our rolls for things, our hit points will be about the same, but our rolls for things like the hit score, damage rolls, things like magic resistance are all going to be higher than a Ker Nethelas character. So these are difficult dungeons, so it'll make us more powerful, so that's okay. So anyway, we're going to do that on the computer, and then for the next episodes will be on my table, and I'll show you how we're going to do combat, which is basically going to be using the engine here, and we're going to make a few differences since it's for Ker Nethelas. So I already put on here the character's name is Killeen. He's a human. He's a poacher, meaning when Ker Nethelas, you've been accused of a crime and they execute you and throw you down in this pit, and you end up in the dungeon. You survive. Handiness is ambidextrous because we're basing on a Stormbrand and Umbral Phantom. You pick two character classes. Masteries are called Ker Nethelas. So we're basing on Stormbrand and Umbral Phantom. And we're going to do this character here. This is a fillable character sheet. We're going to use, I'll get more details on this later. We're going to use hit locations like they do in Ker Nethelas, but we're not going to use hit points per location like they do in basic role playing and RuneQuest. So RuneQuest is similar to this. It's by Chaosium, same company, but it's got a specific spells and lore and everything. So let's go here. Let's go to characters. And I'm going to roll this character up. And if I don't like the character, if the character is overall too weak, I'm going to roll up two more characters and pick the one I like out of the best. But if we just roll up a good character, we'll take that one. All right, step one, name and characteristics. So we've written down the name and all that. We'll figure out the height and weight once you figure out his size. You roll that randomly. Okay, let's see. So, strength, constitution, power, dex, charisma are 3 die 6. Strength, constitution, power, dex, charisma. Strength, constitution, power, dex, charisma. So, you just have to trust me on the rolls that I'm rolling. I'm just rolling 3 die 6 straight here. 5, 9, 11 for strength. And then constitution. Nine. And then once more, power, dex, and charisma. So we'll start with power there. And we have a 9. 16. All right. Got a nice charisma score there. Dexterity score there. All right. One more. Charisma. 9. Okay, so we got good rolls. We got a good dex, good strength, average on constitution, power, and charisma. So let's see. We have other rolls to make. We roll 2d6 plus 6 for intelligence and size. Okay. 2d6 plus 6. So size is 7, 13. So we're maybe a little above average there for size. And intelligence. Six plus 6 is 12. Maybe just a little above average on intelligence. Okay, so these are all overall, those are good rolls. It's not a bad character. Okay, the number provided the bare bones of your character determine what characteristics the character is strong or weak in. If you wish, redistribute up to 3 points between your characteristics. No characteristic can begin at more than 21 points. So if we feel we're weak in something, we can add some points from another stat. I'm going to leave it the way it is right now. If you aren't satisfied, you can start over, but we have a good character. If you want to be more higher power, it says you're going to roll 2d6 plus 6 for all characteristics. Optional. The EDU characteristic is optional. I'm just going to roll it in case we're going to use it, which is 2d6 plus 6. 4 plus 6 is 10. Okay, that's not bad. Okay. We're not playing on non-human characters. Point-based character creation is an optional, but I decided that we're just going to make the character and give the character the abilities, like instead of buying abilities, we'll just give them the abilities based on the character class we're after. We're going to play a procedurally generated dungeon in Ker Nethelas. It's not a game where you go to town or travel or anything. Like I said, we got thrown down in a dungeon. So, okay, powers. So, so the one power he has, because we're based on an Umbral Phantom, is night vision. And oops. I just hit my function key and brought that up. Okay. Its cost is 4. I've got about the same magic points as I had in Ker Nethelas, which I think I had 10, and my costs were 5 and 4. But I'm just going to make it 4 and 4 based on what I've seen in the book here. And then we're going to go down here to powers. Right. I could have put night vision down there, but I'm just going to put it up here under skills. So we know it's there. And, I'm just going to put the other one up here too. Lightning cost is 4. And then down here we'll put more, we can put more like attack power or power, whatever. We can put power, we can put night, did not mean to do that. Okay. Night vision, and I'm not worried about the range, because in this game it's just you generate the dungeon, you can see it, there's no really ranged weapons, and they don't worry about range. They say when you fight, you're just dancing around each other. So we'll put cost to use 4. Okay. Rest R. Deactivate. Because when you die, become unconscious, when you stop to rest, or if you just turn it off, is when power stop in this game. So rest or deactivate, and then we're going to put imbue lightning. So we imbue lightning. Cost to use is 4. And it says, that's to buy it, character point cost. And then duration is the same. It's going to be rest or deactivate. So let's see. The energy type is obviously lightning, and +1 die 4, and we're going to roll damage dice, which are identical pretty much. I was looking at like a club, a one-hand club in Ker Nethelas does 1 die 6. There's 1 die 6 in this game. And Blue Lightning, I'm getting a 1 die 4 because it does 1 die 4 in Ker Nethelas. But we're looking to roll the damage, as to where in Ker Nethelas, you roll your damage dice, compare it to a chart, and like 1 die 4 will basically do 0 to 2 or 3 points of damage. A die 6 will do 0 to 4, something like that. So we're going to do a little more damage. We'll be a little more powerful using this system. Okay, so let's go back up here and let's put +1 die 4. How about that? Now here's our other power, ambidextrous, which is actually, we can use 2 one-handed weapons of any type with no penalties. So we can attack twice, parry twice, whatever. Okay, So let me see, what's next? Okay, powers. We did powers. Age. Just to keep it simple, I'll roll a die 6, 5. So I'm 23. Where the age go right there. So I'm a youngster. It doesn't have the height and weight chart. Maybe we haven't hit it yet. Okay, those are the effective ages. And then we're going to have characteristic rolls. Okay. So effort, stamina, idea, luck, agility, charm. Effort, stamina, idea, luck, agility, charm. And knowledge is for the optional education. And they're all times 5. And then they're called different things in Ker Nethelas. So once I get over to where we're using paper and pencil, I'll put those on here. So, effort roll. Strength times 5, which will be 55. 11 times 5. 5 times 9 is 45. Let's see, for intelligence, that's the idea roll. 5 times 12 is 60. For the power, luck roll, that's going to be 45. Let's see. So for dexterity, we want 16 times 5, which I can probably figure out, but I'll just use a calculator. 80. Wow. 80%. The agility roll. Charm is going to be 45%. And the knowledge roll is going to be 50%. Okay. All right, we should just determine initial fatigue points and sanity points, because they use sanity in Ker Nethelas, so we want to do that. So what I'm not seeing here, okay, it is on there. Okay, excellent. Okay, damage modifier. Add strength and size, and find the damage modifier corresponding to your character's total on the damage modifier page on page 20. Okay, we're on page 11. All right, strength is 11, 24. 24, damage modifier none. Okay, so we're not on a minus, and we're on a bonus. So damage modifier, I'm going to put none here. And now we'll go back to page 11. Hit points. add constitution plus size, divide by 2, round up. Okay. 13 plus 9 is 22. Divided by 2 is 11. Okay, so I get 11 hit points. So in Ker Nethelas, I had, like a hit points, and then I had fatigue as well. And this game, we're going to have fatigue. So I'm going to use for damage, fatigue, and hit points, just like in Ker Nethelas. Because that character had about 32 hit points. And this character, if I give it a fatigue score, then that should, bump my hit points up. But, 11 is not enough. I'm not going to survive with that. Okay. Major wound level, half hit points rounded up. It's going to be 6. And I don't even know if we're going to use that, but I'll put it in there anyway. Okay. Like PowerPoint box. In the PowerPoint box, circle the number equal to POW and write the total on the line below. This is your character's maximum power points. Okay. That's simple enough. Oops. Power is 9. So we could activate both of our powers with 1 point left over. And then using 2 weapons as a passive skill. Okay. Experience bonus. A character's experience bonus is equal to half the intelligence rounded up. Okay. So the int is 12. So my experience bonus is going to be 6. Now, am I missing it? These are all full. Is there... Oh, experience bonus right there. Excellent. 6%. Okay. Move. So we don't need to use movement. Okay, so we can look at movement rates, but since we don't need a movement rate for Ker Nethelas, we're not going to worry about it. And skill bonuses. If using characteristic-based skill category bonuses, page 23, write these values in the spaces for each category. This bonus adds to the base chance for every skill, if any, for each category. Okay, so add +1 for every point in the primary characteristic over 10. +1% for every 2 points in the secondary characteristic above 10. -1% for every 2 points under 10. -1% for every point in the negative characteristic above 10. +1% for every point under 10. Okay. So there's a primary characteristic, a secondary characteristic, and Okay, and then the negative characteristic. Got you. Okay. Let's go to page 23. So it seems like, okay. Okay, simpler skill bonuses. If calculating skill category bonuses is too complicated, each category bonus can instead be defined as half of the primary characteristic rounded up. This method results in higher initial skill chances and eliminates the chance of a category penalty. If desired, use a simple skill category modifier from the following table. Okay, I like that much better. I think you should get a bonus or a penalty, but there's no penalties doing it this way. Based on chat, yeah, let's do that. Okay, so combat skills. Dex divided by 2. So that's a plus 8%. So that's a plus 8% for combat skills. Communication skills is going to be plus 5. Manipulation skills, Dex again. Plus 8%. Mental skills is intelligence, that'll be 6. Okay. Perception skills will be 5. That's the power divided by 2. So perception plus 5. And physical skills is going to be my strength. That'll be 6. Plus 6%. Okay. Okay, so skill bonuses, hit points per location, we're not using that. Fatigue points. If fatigue is being used, add your character's strength and con to get their fatigue point total. Okay. Alright, fatigue points. Strength and constitution. So that'll be 20, and that gives me 31 hit points. So that's about what I expected. So fatigue is going to be 20. And when we run out of fatigue, like we'll take that as damage in combat. And then when we run out of fatigue, then we go to hit points. Okay. Alright, sanity option. Is sanity can use multiply your character's initial power score by times 5 to get their sanity. Okay. So I think that's 45. Yep, 9. So sanity is 45. And I thought I had this thing in airplane mode. I do. And we'll put it in silent mode too. All right. Personality. Blah blah. No, we're not interested in that. We got our 45 sanity points. Professions and skills. So I've chosen my professions already, which is the Umbral Phantom and the Stormbrand. This is buying skill points. What we're going to do is, once we go to paper, is you have these skills and you can add bonuses to them. So we'll do that. And we start with no equipment because we've been thrown down in the pit. So we did name of characteristics. We did powers. Step, wow. We went from step 2 to step 9, 10 there. Distinctive features. We're not worried about the background. We're not worried about armor and equipment. We don't get any equipment. Let's see. Age and experience. We did that. As far as experience goes, we get our starting powers. We did characteristic roles, derived characteristics, personality type. We don't need to do skill point allocations. We did our damage modifier, all that. Power we've done. So we've done everything except we need to get our roles and our skills like Ker Nethelas, since we're going to play Ker Nethelas. So, like I said, we'll do that. We'll do that when we go over there, and then we'll start and we'll try to survive. Okie dokie. So, uh, hope this works out. Like I said, I didn't like just Ker Nethelas by itself, but I think that this is going to work out well. I got all the cards, so we can just draw for whatever we're going to do. Okay, and please give us a like and subscribe. And we will see you next time.